Welcome to the ultimate top 10 to destroy all top 10s. Except that it's 13 games, the most popular free games in the world. You should at least be playing one of these right now, in no particular order. Warframe. Digital Extremes had to persevere and endure the trials and tribulations of the initial years. But once it had a solid game with plenty of content, people started to take notice. Nearly 50 million players by March 2019. Warframe is an action game that makes you feel like a real superhero. All those special powers, rad moves, and open-world areas contribute to create an impressive sprawling game. It's not a coincidence that some AAA games are being unfavorably compared to Warframe. Isn't that right, Anthem? Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Counter-Strike Global Offensive kinda cheated its way in this top. After all, it was successful for ever, but not as a free-to-play game. It only turned free in December 2018. But it makes for a nice change seeing an established rock-solid game switching to a free-to-play business model instead of the usual trend. Garbage, dead games that no one really cares about. Apex Legends. Come on, what were you expecting? When a game comes out of nowhere and unexpectedly threatens the dominating title, it must be something special. Respawn's Apex Legends may be your traditional battle royale in new clothing, but it's like they studied what makes Fortnite and Overwatch special and mixed it all up in a Titanfall setting. Is it worthy of all the attention, the millions of players, the Twitch record-breaking? You tell us. Which leads us to another game. Fortnite Battle Royale. Fortnite Battle Royale became an overnight sensation, and being free-to-play played a major role. Millions of players didn't want to pay for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and decided to try it. As some shady Facebook adverts say, you won't be able to stop playing this game. Its controversial dances became a wearisome slap-in-the-face worthy. It attracted players of all ages, mostly younger players, so there's that. And you thought that the Minecraft craze was just too much, eh? World of Tanks. World of Tanks single-handedly turned wargaming into the powerhouse that it is today. The Belarusian studio had to hear things like cheap Asian stuff and worse before going the self-publishing route. The rest is history. World of Tanks is one of the most profitable PC games in the world ever. That game alone allowed wargaming to develop new titles, acquire other companies, and publish games from other studios. Not bad for some cheap Asian stuff. Dungeon Fighter Online. Dungeon Fighter Online's long-term success is another one of those mysteries. It was a decent game when it launched in 2005 in Korea, but who would guess that it was chartbuster material? It's mainly a case of China driving its success. On the other hand, we can contain the excitement for Dungeon Fighter Online sequel, Project Barbecue, a third-person brawler that looks stunning. League of Legends. We couldn't leave Riot Games' best game, or only game, out of this list. This was the MOBA that made the genre famous and turned a niche genre into something mainstream, leading to huge esports tournaments and streaming madness. Also, extremely toxic behavior. League of Legends brought massive riches to Riot Games, but the question is, for how long will its fortune go on? Just get that second game made ASAP, guys. CrossFire. CrossFire is a weird success story. This game released in 2007 at a time when shooters were a dime a dozen. CrossFire wasn't any better than most of the competition, and yet managed to become the big name in China. It remains as one of the most profitable games and the culprit for Smilegate's boom, something that we are thankful for. Why, you ask? Because it gave the Korea studio the resources to create the acclaimed MMORPG Lost Ark. Enough said. Path of Exile. Path of Exile is the game that Diablo 3 should have been, but luckily Blizzard is fixing that mistake with Diablo Immortal. What? Do you guys not have phones? Sorry about that. Anyway, Path of Exile was born out of a studio that had previously developed nothing. Self-professed fans of Diablo, they went on to make their dream game, and it paid off. Path of Exile is a hack-and-slash game with huge updates, and one of the best examples of a free-to-play business model. Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 is one of Valve's forays into development hell. Once a realistic warfare simulation, this game eventually took a turn into cartoon territory and never looked back. Thankfully, as its timeless art design and instantly recognizable characters are part of the video game history. It doesn't get too much love from Valve nowadays. They are surely busy working on the totally not god-awful card game Artifact. But what is there is enough to keep you playing for years on end. Hearthstone. When someone like Blizzard announces a trading card game, the world stops and listens, and mocks and swears. But you tried it and got hooked. Who's laughing now? Hearthstone looked like a rushed cash grab, but it's Blizzard, and so it was designed with addictive gameplay in mind, with the goal of selling you tons of booster packs. It worked for several years, but its popularity seems to be on a downward spiral. Dota 2. Valve was determined to eat a piece of the MOBA cake, and for that it enlisted the help of IceFrog, lead designer on Defense of the Ancients. Dota 2 became one of the biggest triumphs ever, but in the end, it's a MOBA, and it does what it says in the tin. Be prepared for a steep learning curve and a toxic community. Persevere and you will discover a thrilling game, and eventually turn into one of those toxic scumbags that you despised so much in the early days. RuneScape. When it comes to successful MMORPGs, it's impossible not to mention RuneScape. Jagex's game became a worldwide hit and a Guinness World Records regular. Jagex never managed to follow up RuneScape with another successful game. It's like a curse that the studio is trying to escape with, the as-of-yet unannounced action RPG set in the RuneScape universe. Let's hope it's not mobile, right? And that's our top 13. Don't forget to mention your favorites in the comments, and until next time.